My name is Kelly. I'm 40 years old, and I'm here to tell you the truth about how I destroyed my own life. It's not polished, it's not pretty, it's ugly and raw. And I'm telling it because maybe it'll stop someone else from doing what I did. I was married to Cody for 10 years. Cody was a truck driver. Steady, quiet, dependable. He worked hard. He worked a lot. Sometimes it felt like I saw his rig more than I saw him. When he came home, he smelled like diesel and black coffee. His hands were rough, his hugs strong. He'd leave me little souvenirs from his trips, a snow globe from Denver, a magnet from Nashville, postcards with quick notes like, "Thought of you when I saw this." But somewhere along the way, I stopped seeing the good in him. I started focusing on what I thought was missing: excitement. I wanted something fast, loud, unpredictable. That's when Jake showed up. Jake was chaos wrapped in leather. Tattoos climbed up his neck like ivy, his grin was cocky, and he had that slouching, loose-limbed confidence that screamed danger. He made every conversation feel like an inside joke, like he was letting me in on some secret. We met at a friend's party. He leaned in close when we talked, his voice low, eyes locked on mine like I was the only person in the room. I laughed more in that one night than I had in weeks. It started with harmless texts, memes, little jokes. Then came the late-night calls, the "can't sleep just thinking about you" messages. Before long, I was sneaking out to meet him. I justified it to myself. Cody was boring. Cody worked too much. I deserved more attention. That's the lie I held on to while I slipped deeper into the affair. The day Cody found out is burned into my memory. I was in the kitchen, spoon halfway to my mouth, when the front door slammed. He walked in, jaw tight, eyes hard. He set my phone down on the counter, opened to Jake's texts. My stomach dropped. "So this is who you are now?" His voice cracked on now. That hurt more than if he'd yelled. We talked that night, or tried to, but it ended with him packing his duffel bag. The door closed, and the silence that followed was deafening. I told myself Jake was worth it. I moved into his apartment, small, dim, smelling of stale beer and weed. At first, it was thrilling. Music thumped through the walls. We stayed up until sunrise, chain smoking on the balcony, laughing at nothing. The first few weeks with Jake were like a movie montage. He'd whisk me off on midnight drives with no destination, blasting rock music with the windows down. We'd drink cheap whiskeys straight from the bottle, make love on the couch, talk about someday dreams we never planned to actually reach. But slowly, the scenes changed. One night, he canceled our plans because something came up. But when I went to the corner store, I saw him leaning against his car, talking to another woman the same way he once talked to me. Another time, he disappeared for 2 days without a word. When he came back, he tossed a crumpled fast food bag on the counter like that was supposed to make up for it. The first red flag I truly couldn't ignore was the wall. He didn't hit me that time, just the wall beside my head, hard enough to send dust falling from the crack. He laughed it off afterwards, but my heart was still racing hours later. Then came the shove. My hip slammed into the coffee table, sending a glass crashing to the floor. He muttered an apology, blaming the booze. I wanted to believe him. But then came the slap. My head jerked sideways, my cheeks stung hot, and my ears rang. I stared at him, searching for the man who had once made me feel alive. He wasn't there. The violence started to bleed into everyday life. If the bills piled up, it was my fault. If the fridge was empty, it was my fault. If he couldn't find his keys, it was my fault. Meanwhile, memories of Cody began creeping in like uninvited ghosts. I'd remember the way he'd warm up my car for me in the winter, the way he'd text me goodnight from the road, the way he always made sure I felt safe. Sometimes at night, I'd dream about Cody. In those dreams, we were still married, still laughing, still in love. And then I'd wake up to Jake snoring beside me, the stench of alcohol heavy in the air, and I'd feel a pit in my stomach so deep it almost swallowed me. One night, Jake passed out drunk on the couch, and I found myself staring at his face, wondering how I had ever thought this was an upgrade. I whispered into the dark, "What have I done?" even though there was no one to answer. I wore long sleeves in 90-degree heat to hide the bruises. I stopped laughing. I stopped dreaming. I stopped being me. Then came the night that changed everything. He came home late, reeking of alcohol, his eyes glazed and mean. He yelled because dinner wasn't ready, slammed the fridge so hard the magnets hit the floor, and then drove his fist into my ribs. I felt the air rush out of me and collapsed against the counter. In that moment, I saw two futures. One where I stayed and ended up broken beyond repair, and one where I left with nothing but my dignity. The next morning, I looked in the mirror, hair messy, eyes hollow, a bruise already blooming across my side, and I knew it was over. I packed my clothes into a trash bag. Jake didn't stop me. He barely looked at me. I called my sister Sarah, my voice shaking. She told me to come. No judgment, no lecture, just open arms and a warm bed. At Sarah's, I started breathing again, but breathing came with remembering, and remembering came with regret. I missed Cody. I missed the quiet mornings. I missed the safety. I missed the love I had been too blind to see. I missed the man who never raised his voice, who never made me afraid, who worked his life away so I could have comfort. I thought about all the times I could have asked him to slow down, to take me on a date, to just spend more time with me. But instead, I chose to run into the arms of a man who would eventually destroy me. I'd replay our last night together before he found out, the way he kissed me on the forehead before leaving for another run, the way he said, "Be good," over his shoulder. He had no idea what I was hiding. That memory guts me. There were moments at Sarah's where I'd hear a semi-truck rumble by outside and my heart would leap just for a second, thinking maybe Cody was coming back for me. But he never did. I'd scroll through my phone at night, staring at his old number, typing out messages I never sent, apologies that would never fix what I broke. Now I have to say this to every wife listening. If you have a good man, a man who works hard, who's faithful, who's safe, do not mistake stability for boredom. Do not chase exciting when exciting often hides something dark. The grass is not greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. And if you stop watering your marriage, you will starve something rare while feeding weeds that will choke you. Cheating doesn't just end marriages. It shatters the person you are. It leaves scars you can't see but feel every day. Don't trade a man who would protect you for one who will harm you. Don't trade love for lust. Don't gamble safety for chaos. I gave up a diamond for a piece of glass that cut me over and over. If I could go back, I'd tell Cody the truth. I'd fight for my marriage, instead of running from it. But I can't go back. And regret is a shadow that never leaves. I lost the love of my life because I was a cheating whore. And it's a loss I'll carry until my last breath.